All right, guys. So today we have a debate for you that we've kind of touched on before, but this time it's going to be from a different angle. And, we all love to talk about this in the real estate field, these short-term rentals. All right. So let me tell you something. They're dead. Short-term rentals are dead. And I've been trying to explain to Joey why. But of course, as a short-term rental guy, he's got his pros. But then we're going to dig into that a little bit today.
Hey guys, welcome to Uncommon State of Mind, where we debate different ways to leverage your next investment to create time freedom, legacy impact, and generational wealth in order to live that uncommon life. But to do that, you must be uncommon. My name is Joey, aka Mr. J Mays.
And I'm AD, also known as AD the Fly Realtor.
Hey.
All right, guys. So today we have a debate for you that we've kind of touched on before, but this time it's going to be from a different angle. And, we all love to talk about this in the real estate field, these short-term rentals. All right. So let me tell you something. They're dead. Short-term rentals are dead. And I've been trying to explain to Joey why. But of course, as a short-term rental guy, he's got his pros. But then we're going to dig into that a little bit today. First of all, my first point here is short-term rentals are dead because you can easily look at the numbers from 2020 and 2021 and see that they have drastically fallen since then. So that's my number one. Like, numbers aren't even the same as the...
I'm mad that this is the problem with everybody that talks about...
Everybody got a problem.
This is the problem, bro. That's the issue, bro. Everybody wants to compare their numbers to 2020 and 2021. Everybody does. You know why? Because there's a huge boom in people actually listing out short-term rentals during that time because it was such a popular topic of discussion during that time. Airbnb went public as well. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of factors that you can see that drove to that growth. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand, during that time, the pandemic, like when it first started, there was, everything shut down.
Right.
Nobody was allowed to go anywhere. Nobody was allowed to do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the second that those orders, what were they called? The freaking stay-at-home orders lifted, there was so much pent-up demand that everybody was trying to get out of the house. They didn't care where they stayed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I get it.
So
that makes sense.
So like when people try to say like, oh look, short-term rentals they're horrible. Look at the numbers back then and look at them now. Well, to be honest with you, 2020 and 2021 were anomaly years because of that pent-up demand.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So anomaly years. If you really want to get your data straight, you know what I'm saying? I was actually listening to STR Data Labs, and he had the owner from Hostaway on, and I was like, man, this is like awesome points. Like if you want to look at how the short-term rental market was doing, you have to go back to 2019 numbers. You know what I'm saying? Well, 2019, that was the last year before things got, before the pandemic hit. So that was the last year of regular business being ran before the pandemic hit. And during that time, travel was at its all-time high in 2019. Okay. It's all-time high. So during those 2020 and 2021 years, it exploded even more because of the pent-up demand, right?
Okay.
But
get that.
Mind you, 2019, prior to it being a pandemic, best years for travel, best years for hotel and lodging. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I get that, but it doesn't trouble you at all that, when the economic landscape shifted, so did people spending as far as short-term rentals?
What do you mean by that exactly?
So what I'm trying to say is that maybe short-term rentals aren't that recession-proof of an investment strategy because, like you said, when 2019, record-breaking travel numbers, but then things changed a little and then people just stopped.
Well, no. So 2019 was record-breaking travel numbers. Now 2020 and 2021, it blew up. It doubled those numbers because of the pent-up demand. Now, if we look to now, 2023, which is, post the pandemic and post those stay-at-home orders, numbers have obviously went down, but they're still almost double, even maybe triple what they were in 2019 when it was a regular year.
So what you're saying is that, yeah, if we compare apples to apples, regular year to regular year, this is right in line with that.
Exactly.
But then it's not going to be as high as the pandemic.
Exactly. Listening to other operators and actually going back and observing the data from back in the days, 2019, 2018 to now, the numbers have doubled. And if we're talking about like RevPAR and we're talking about average daily rates and things of that nature.
Can you please, for the audience, let us know, as non-STR guys, what RevPAR is?
So RevPAR is just revenue per available listing. That's out on the market. How much revenue it's pulling in, and then ADR, average daily rate, is like what somebody would actually charge for staying at their place for a single night, and like how those numbers fluctuate per 30 days or per how often you want to, check your data or whatever. So
Actually, that
for the most part. So like looking at that, it's kind of, that's a heavy indicator on, where the market is going. Like it's not 2020, 2021 explosion, what I'm saying, and growth, mass growth, post-pandemic and post-at-home orders, it's still growing. It's just growing at a slower rate. You know what I'm saying? And since it's growing at a slower rate, I'm talking about like the short-term rental market in general, people are now, especially if you started back in 2020 or 2019, like me, I started in 2019. So of course this is why I did so much research just to learn about this in general myself, because I'm like, okay, like my numbers have changed, but like, I've only been in business since 2019. So what are the trends for this business? You know what I mean? And what were the numbers in the past for this business, and what were people doing before? And, once I got a larger macro scope of my industry, of the short-term rental industry, I was like, okay, we're good.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. I mean, I get that. Good little rebuttal. But another thing I've noticed about the short-term rental industry is that now at this point, every person who has an extra bedroom or can find a way to hustle another unit or something of the sort thinks that they can just like hop on Airbnb and start making money. So I haven't looked at the numbers personally, but I fully believe, and I feel like with 100% certainty, there's way more people, trying to do short-term rentals.
Yeah.
So one thing I know about increasing competition, that's basic economics. That usually means numbers go down.
Right.
So then how is it that you're going to deal with this increased competition in what, for the most part, an industry that's considered luxury?
Right. So, and that's the thing, like, yeah, there's definitely increased competition. And I'm glad that you said that, because that circles back to my point that the industry is still growing. As a matter of fact, shared on STR Data Labs, I think Airbnb's, their numbers have grown 20% year over year, and that hasn't stopped just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So with that being said, yeah, there's going to be more operators in the market. There's going to be more competition. And that's partially what's, when people are looking at ADRs and RevPARs, that's partially what's bringing those numbers down, is the fact that there's increased supply in the market. But this is where you need to, as an operator, niche down to who you are trying to serve best, right? For me, it is business travelers, because I know that no matter what, if you have to travel for work, you need places to stay. You know what I'm saying? So our units are geared towards business travelers specifically. Like, we make sure we have printers in our locations. We make sure that there's a dedicated workspace in our location. You know what I mean? Like, we try to really cater to them, because that's our niche market. And I guess that's the best advice I can give to anybody who's who's in short-term rentals and is just like over here, just has a place that's just on there. You really need to figure out who you're trying to serve, or else you're not going to know exactly where your revenue is coming from consistently.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, one other thing about niching down, you might have mentioned this, but it gives you a target like set of people to market toward.
Exactly.
So it does make a bit of a difference. That goes for all business ventures, really.
And to be honest with you, like, one thing I do like about having more competition for short-term rentals and having more a little bit more saturation is the fact that in order for you to survive now, you really need to be professional. You really need to establish a brand. When people stay with you, you need to establish, some sort of brand recognition, so that people can be like, you know what, I can stay at these other places, but when I stay with these particular people, I know that I'm always going to have these amenities. I know that I'm always going to get responded to in this amount of time. Like, and creating that is going to, it's going to grow your business, because that pretty much gives you that stream of returning guests and referrals. Depending if you are just on the OTAs, then of course it's going to be a little harder. But if you have your own website and you can operate through referrals, you can get more direct bookings than just relying on these OTAs. And that's what every operator wants, because you don't have to pay those service fees, right? You save more money and you get to price what you want. It's that's the way to go.
Right. Okay. So you feel like you've debunked the pandemic versus now no.
I know I debunked.
You feel like you debunked or you have an explanation for the increase in competition, but one thing you really don't have an answer for is the heavy attack on STRs from the hotel industry.
Okay.
This is something that being in the, real estate industry, I hear about regularly. Hotels are coming for you guys, and they're coming hard, and they're spending a lot of money to do it. So how is it that you combat that?
Well, the thing is, they've been coming for us since the beginning of this bad boy. Like, since I've gotten into short-term rentals, I got into it hearing about the hotels coming for us. So before you get in, hotels hate y'all. So just know that. Go ahead and do your thing. So, I've been ready for that and been working around that for a time, since I've started. And to be honest with you, I think the biggest hurdle that the hotel industry can actually really deploy upon us really is just making sure the laws favor them when it comes to regulation of short-term, regulation of short-term rentals. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we want to make sure you guys are licensed, or there's just different rules and regulations per city. So that's one of the things, they can't control everywhere. Per city, you know what I'm saying? They try to really influence the laws prohibiting short-term rentals. But the thing is, with this industry is it's one of those things that since it's like the internet, bro. It's okay, the internet is here. It is revolutionary. There's going to be pushback because it's changed, it's different, it causes competition. But it's so valuable that it's going to spread. No matter what, everybody's going to have some sort of internet presence. So no matter what, no matter how much you push back against it, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? That's what short-term rentals is. It's pretty much, it started, and, people are able, it helps the economy in so many ways. People who have extra homes and extra places to stay can actually leverage that and make money off of it. The government could tax it, you know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing when it comes to something that's new, is the government first needs to figure out the best way to tax it. Once that happens, you know what I'm saying, it's a free-for-all, you know what I'm saying? But where people look at regulations as something bad and to be scared of, it actually, in a lot of ways, is actually good, because then it becomes a little bit more mainstream. And it also weeds out the operators who just are doing this for play. Yeah, I mean, they're I gotta go look at what and register for, I'm not doing this anymore. It weeds those guys out, and it pretty much allows the professionals the space to succeed. You know what I mean?
Okay, I get that. Okay. So, building his case for short-term rentals, there you have it. He has an explanation for why the numbers are down since the pandemic. He's got an explanation for the increased competition, and then also he has a response for the attack from the hotel industry.
Yeah, man.
That's what we covered today, but go ahead and hit us in the comments with any other reasons why you may know or think of to not get into STRs, because we all know long-term rentals are the way to go. Joey just hasn't figured it out.
Y'all look. Long-term rentals, they're tried and true. They're great. But if you're looking for that cash flow, okay? I'm talking cash flow. And cash flow, owning the asset, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me started on this. Don't get me started on this.
Owning the asset.
Don't get me started.
Got the hotels on your ass. We'll see how it goes.
What's up, guys? And today's beat for the day is a little bit off the cuff. I need you to be the type of person who finds a reason why something can work instead of finding reasons why it can't. Because there's so much more negativity in this world than there is positivity. You're going to find the majority of people telling you why something isn't going to work, or why it's going to go wrong, or all the possibilities of something not working. You know what I'm saying? And that could deter people from actually going out there and accomplishing something because they're just so afraid of failure. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, all you need to do is find one reason why it can and run with it. If you're able to do that and block out the noise, that's where character is built. That's where successful habits are built. You know, that's where you become the person that's able to handle the success when you get to it. You know what I'm saying? So be the reason why it works.
Hey, all right, you heard the man. Be the reason why it works. Be you and be uncommon. Till next time.